The massive crystalline ship of the Zorn Collective descended through Earth's atmosphere, its prismatic hull casting fractured rainbows across the urban landscape below. Captain Zara had seen countless first-contact scenarios during her 3 decades of interstellar exploration, but something about this mission felt different from the moment their long-range sensors first detected the blue-green planet. Earth appeared unremarkable at first glance. Satellite and deep scan data suggested a developing civilization. Technological, but primitive by galactic standards. The planet's surface was a patchwork of interconnected urban centers, vast agricultural regions, and complex transportation networks that seemed almost organic in their design. Yet something about those networks made Captain Zara's neural implants twitch with an unfamiliar sensation. Uncertainty. Preliminary scan complete, announced calm specialist Fren, his tentacle-like appendages dancing across the holographic interface. Technological development at approximately level 2.3 on the Kardashev scale. Recommended approach, standard containment and integration protocol. Zara's second-in-command, Sub-Commander Krell, nodded in agreement. The Zorn Collective had integrated hundreds of civilizations across the galaxy. This would be no different, a swift, efficient process of diplomatic negotiation followed by systematic cultural absorption. The ship's communication array began broadcasting the standard first contact transmission, a carefully crafted message that had brought countless civilizations into the collective's fold. It was a combination of mathematical sequences, linguistic decryption protocols, and a not-so-subtle suggestion of the futility of resistance. Deep within the United Nations Planetary Defense Center in Geneva, a team of scientists and military personnel watched the alien transmission with a curious mix of tension and anticipation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the center's lead xenocommunications expert, leaned forward, her fingers dancing across a complex neural interface that connected human analysis systems. They're using a standard hierarchical communication protocol, she muttered to General Michael Chen, who stood quietly beside her. Completely predictable. Exactly what we've been preparing for. The alien transmission continued, outlining the Zorn Collective's terms. It was less an invitation and more a declarative statement. Earth would be integrated into the Galactic Society, its resources cataloged, its population assessed, and redistributed as necessary. The message carried the weight of centuries of successful planetary acquisitions. What the Zorn did not know was that their transmission had triggered an intricate network of global systems. Every major research facility, military installation, and communication center was already aware of the incoming message. The response was already in motion, not as a panicked reaction, but as a carefully orchestrated plan years in the making. In orbital platforms disguised as standard communication satellites, advanced defense systems came online. Quantum encrypted networks began their silent dance of information exchange. Research facilities that appeared to be studying mundane scientific problems were, in reality, the front lines of humanity's most advanced technological development. Captain Zara waited for a response, expecting the typical mixture of fear, confusion, or desperate negotiation that typically followed their initial contact. Instead, she received something entirely unexpected. Silence. Not a complete silence. The planet's communication networks continued their constant buzz of activity, but there was no diplomatic channel, no desperate plea, no sign of the typical panic that accompanied first contact. It was as if the entire planet was observing, waiting, preparing. Sub-Commander Krell shifted uncomfortably. Captain, our standard protocols suggest we should. I know, Zara interrupted, her sensory tendrils extending to analyze the planetary data more carefully. Something is different about this world. Little did they know that beneath that calm exterior, humanity was anything but passive. Every system was alert, every resource was being quietly mobilized. The planet that appeared so unremarkable was about to show the Zorn Collective that appearances could be profoundly deceiving. In the United Nations Planetary Defense Center, Dr. Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. "They're here," she said simply to General Chen. Let the real conversation begin. The research facility looked like any other cutting-edge scientific complex. Gleaming white walls, state-of-the-art equipment, researchers moving with purposeful determination. But this was no ordinary laboratory. Hidden beneath layers of seemingly routine scientific investigation was humanity's most ambitious project, Project Horizon. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a massive holographic display, her fingers tracing intricate patterns of quantum entanglement that danced with impossible complexity. Around her, a team of the world's most brilliant minds worked in perfect synchronization. They represented a true global collaboration. Scientists from every continent, every background, united by a single purpose. Neural interface at 97% stability, announced Dr. Akira Tanaka, his fingers flying across a quantum computing array. Adaptive learning algorithms are now fully integrated with the defensive matrix. The project was more than a military defense system. It was a comprehensive strategy of survival, innovation, and potential transformation. Each breakthrough wasn't just about protecting Earth. It was about understanding the fundamental nature of technological advancement on a galactic scale. In a secure wing of the facility, Dr. Marcus Williams worked on what appeared to be an impossible challenge. His team was developing adaptive communication protocols, systems that could not just translate alien languages, but understand the deeper cultural and technological contexts behind them. Early tests had revealed that most galactic civilizations communicated in rigid, hierarchical patterns. Humanity's approach would be fundamentally different. We're not just preparing to defend, Dr. Williams explained to a visiting government representative. We're preparing to understand. Every technological system is a language. Every communication is a negotiation. Beneath major cities around the world, similar preparations were underway. In underground facilities in the Andes, in hidden research centers in the Siberian wilderness, in cutting-edge laboratories in Singapore and Nairobi, teams were working on different aspects of the same grand strategy. General Michael Chen reviewed the latest simulation results. The quantum defense network wasn't just a shield, it was a living, adaptive system. Each potential alien attack scenario had been meticulously analyzed, with countermeasures developed not just through traditional military thinking, but through advanced computational modeling and creative problem-solving. The key is unpredictability, Chen muttered, reviewing a holographic battle simulation. Traditional military strategies relied on established patterns. Humanity's approach would be to create a defense system that could think, adapt, and respond in ways no alien civilization could anticipate. Dr. Rodriguez's team had made a breakthrough that would change everything. They had developed a quantum communication network that could potentially interface with and analyze alien technological systems. It wasn't just about defense, it was about understanding and potentially transforming the very nature of interstellar communication. Look at this, she said, pulling up a complex holographic model. We're not just creating a defensive system. We're developing a comprehensive understanding of technological interaction that goes beyond anything the galactic civilizations have ever seen. The global nature of the project was its greatest strength. Unlike many alien civilizations that relied on centralized, hierarchical decision-making, humanity's approach was distributed, collaborative, and fundamentally creative. Every researcher, every scientist, every team member brought a unique perspective. In a secure communications hub, linguists worked alongside quantum physicists. Computer scientists collaborated with anthropologists. They were creating something more than a defense system. They were developing a comprehensive approach to first contact that challenged every existing galactic paradigm. We're not preparing for war, Dr. Rodriguez would later explain in a classified briefing. We're preparing for a conversation, and we intend to be fully prepared. As the Zorn Collective continued their initial observations, they remained blissfully unaware of the intricate preparations taking place. Humanity was transforming, not through aggressive militarization, but through an unprecedented level of global cooperation, scientific innovation, and creative thinking. The facility hummed with potential. Quantum processors calculated impossible scenarios. Communication systems prepared to decode the undecipherable. Defensive matrices adapted in real time to potential threats that hadn't even been conceived. Humanity was ready, not just to defend, but to engage. Not just to survive, but to potentially redefine the very nature of interstellar interaction. The first wave of Zorn attack ships emerged from quantum space with practiced precision. Captain Zara watched the holographic display, expecting the routine submission of a developing civilization. Her fleet consisted of 12 primary assault vessels, each capable of decimating entire planetary defense systems in minutes. Initiating standard pacification protocol, announced Sub-Commander Krell, his tentacle-like appendages moving across the navigation interface. Planetary defense systems should be neutralized within 3 standard galactic cycles. What happened next defied every expectation in the Zorn Collective's centuries of planetary acquisitions. The moment the first Zorn ships entered Earth's orbital space, they encountered a defense network that seemed to defy the laws of known physics. Quantum-entangled defense platforms flickered to life, their targeting systems moving with an almost prescient accuracy. Each Zorn vessel found itself simultaneously tracked by multiple defensive nodes that appeared to predict movement before it occurred. "Impossible," muttered Captain Zara, her sensory tendrils quivering with a rare emotion. Genuine surprise. In the United Nations Planetary Defense Center, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the engagement with calculated calm. The defense system she had helped develop was working perfectly, a symphony of quantum mechanics, predictive algorithms, and adaptive technology that transformed planetary defense into an art form. Defensive matrix is operating at 99.8% efficiency, announced Dr. Akira Tanaka, monitoring the quantum communication network. Predictive algorithms are 3 steps ahead of their tactical approaches. The Zorn ships found themselves in an impossible scenario. Their most advanced evasive maneuvers were countered before they were even initiated. Quantum-entangled projectiles moved through space in trajectories that seemed to violate fundamental laws of motion. Each Zorn vessel was simultaneously targeted by multiple defense platforms that anticipated every potential escape route. General Michael Chen allowed himself a slight smile. "This is more than a defense system," he said quietly to Dr. Rodriguez. "This is a statement." The first Zorn assault group lost half its ships within the first 12 minutes of engagement. Their advanced shield technologies proved useless against a defensive system that could literally predict and neutralize threats before they fully materialized. It wasn't just technological superiority. It was a fundamental reimagining of defensive strategy. Sub-Commander Krell's communication systems erupted with confusion. "Captain, our tactical algorithms are being systematically dismantled. Something is interfacing with our ship's core systems." Captain Zara realized the true horror of their situation. This wasn't just a defense. It was a comprehensive technological assault that was simultaneously defensive and offensive. The human defense system wasn't just stopping their attack. It was learning from it, adapting to it, and turning the Zorn's own technological advantages against them. "Quantum interface detected," announced a Zorn systems analyst. "Our communication networks are being." The message cut off abruptly. The orbital engagement transformed into something beyond traditional warfare. Each Zorn tactical movement was instantly analyzed, predicted, and neutralized. Their most advanced technological systems found themselves increasingly compromised, with human defensive networks seamlessly infiltrating and understanding their core operational protocols. Dr. Rodriguez watched the engagement with scientific fascination. "It's not about destroying their ships," she explained to General Chen. "It's about demonstrating our capability to understand and neutralize their most advanced technologies." Within less than an hour, the initial Zorn assault fleet was completely neutralized. Not destroyed, neutralized. Many ships remained structurally intact, their crews unharmed, but completely disabled. Their communication systems were compromised, their navigation controls locked, their weapons systems rendered inert. It was a message more powerful than any direct assault could have been. Captain Zara stared at the holographic display in stunned silence. This wasn't a victory. This was a complete and total demonstration of technological superiority that challenged everything the Zorn Collective understood about emerging civilizations. "Send a communication to Fleet Command," she finally said, her voice barely a whisper. "Inform them that we have encountered a civilization that does not follow any known first contact protocol." In the Planetary Defense Center, Dr. Rodriguez turned to General Chen. "Phase 1 complete," she said simply. The real conversation was about to begin. The communication intercept room hummed with an intensity that bordered on electric. Dr. Miranda Chen adjusted her neural interface, filtering through layers of encrypted alien transmissions. What she was about to reveal would change everything about humanity's approach to first contact. "This is more than just military intelligence," she explained to the assembled team of linguists, psychologists, and strategic analysts. "We're looking at the entire psychological infrastructure of the Zorn Collective." The intercepted communications painted a fascinating picture. The Zorn were not just a military civilization. They were a hierarchical society built on rigid predictability. Every communication followed strict protocols. Every interaction was a carefully measured exchange of status and information. Their entire societal structure was a complex but inflexible machine. Humanity's response would be anything but predictable. Dr. James Okonkwo, a behavioral systems expert, mapped out the psychological profile they were developing. "Look at their communication patterns," he said, highlighting a complex holographic display. "They expect linear responses. We're going to give them something entirely different." The strategic team began crafting a series of communications designed to do more than defend. They would systematically deconstruct the Zorn's understanding of emerging civilizations. Each message was a carefully constructed puzzle, a psychological weapon more precise than any physical assault. In the orbital communication centers, teams worked around the clock. Linguists collaborated with quantum communication specialists, creating messages that would simultaneously translate and subtly challenge the Zorn's fundamental communication assumptions. It was communication as a form of psychological warfare. "We're not just responding," Dr. Chen explained. "We're engaging in a comprehensive psychological demonstration." The first set of intercepted messages began to reveal the Zorn's growing confusion. Their initial assessment of humanity as a primitive civilization was systematically being dismantled. Each communication they received challenged their fundamental understanding of technological and social development. Diplomatic channels became a complex battlefield of information and psychological strategy. Where the Zorn expected submission or aggressive resistance, they found something entirely unexpected. A calm, calculated engagement that seemed to anticipate their every communicative move. "They're trying to categorize us," said Dr. Elena Rodriguez, reviewing the latest communication analysis, "and we're deliberately making that impossible." The psychological warfare went deeper than simple communication. The human team began strategically releasing carefully curated information. Scientific breakthroughs, technological demonstrations, cultural insights. Each piece of information was designed to create maximum confusion while revealing minimum vulnerability. Sub-Commander Krell of the Zorn Collective found himself increasingly frustrated. The human communications defied every protocol in their extensive first contact database. They were simultaneously cooperative and unpredictable, informative and enigmatic. "It's like they're playing a game we don't even understand the rules to," Krell complained during a classified communication with Fleet Command. The human team understood something profound. Psychological warfare was about creating uncertainty. Every communication was a carefully constructed narrative that revealed just enough to intrigue while maintaining complete strategic ambiguity. Cultural analysts began developing communication strategies that would systematically challenge the Zorn's hierarchical understanding. They introduced concepts of collaborative innovation, flexible social structures, and adaptive thinking that seemed to fundamentally contradict everything the Zorn understood about civilizational development. "We're not just defending," Dr. Okonkwo explained in a classified briefing. We're demonstrating an entirely different model of civilization, one that doesn't fit into their existing categorizations. The Zorn's communication networks began to show signs of genuine confusion. Their initial confident assertions gave way to increasingly complex and uncertain communications. Where they expected to find a straightforward developing civilization, they encountered a species that seemed to operate on an entirely different level of strategic thinking. Dr. Miranda Chen allowed herself a small smile. "We're rewriting the entire concept of first contact," she said quietly. Each intercepted message became a piece of a larger psychological puzzle. The human team was doing more than defending. They were systematically demonstrating that humanity's true strength lay not in technological superiority, but in its capacity for adaptive, creative thinking. The Zorn Collective was about to learn that true communication was far more complex than they had ever imagined. The distributed intelligence network came online with a soft hum that belied its incredible complexity. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the holographic display, her fingers tracing intricate pathways of quantum-entangled communication systems that seemed to breathe with living intelligence. "Initial interface successful," announced Dr. Akira Tanaka, his voice calm despite the revolutionary nature of their breakthrough. "Adaptive learning algorithms are now fully engaged with the Zorn communication infrastructure." Project Horizon was more than a simple hacking system. It was a comprehensive technological ecosystem designed to do what no previous human technology had achieved: to understand, interface with, and ultimately transform alien technological networks. The first layer of the attack was almost imperceptible. Quantum-encrypted data packets began to weave through the Zorn Collective's communication systems, not as an invasion, but as a form of technological conversation. Each packet was a complex algorithm that simultaneously analyzed, learned, and adapted to the alien network's core communication protocols. In the orbital communication centers, teams of specialists from every continent worked in perfect synchronization. Programmers, linguists, quantum physicists, and system analysts formed a human network as complex and adaptive as the technology they were developing. "We're not breaking their systems," Dr. Rodriguez explained to General Michael Chen. "We're understanding them. Every communication network is a language. We're learning to speak it." The Zorn technological infrastructure began to experience anomalies that defied their most advanced diagnostic systems. Communication channels would momentarily fluctuate. Navigation systems would briefly lose precision. Defensive protocols would show microscopic vulnerabilities that disappeared almost as quickly as they appeared. Sub-Commander Krell received the first alarming reports from the fleet's communication specialists. "Our systems are experiencing unprecedented interference," he reported to Captain Zara. "It's as if something is learning our entire technological infrastructure in real time." What the Zorn did not understand was the fundamental difference in humanity's approach. This was not a traditional cyber attack. It was a comprehensive technological exploration that treated alien systems as living, breathing entities to be understood rather than conquered. Dr. Miranda Chen led a team developing adaptive translation protocols that went far beyond simple language conversion. They were creating a system that could understand the deeper contextual and technological implications of communication. Each intercepted transmission was not just decoded, but comprehensively analyzed. "Look at this," she said, pulling up a complex holographic model. "Their entire communication infrastructure is built on a hierarchical model. We're developing a network that functions more like a living ecosystem." The distributed intelligence network began to demonstrate capabilities that seemed to border on the impossible. It could predict communication patterns, understand technological vulnerabilities, and create adaptive response mechanisms faster than the Zorn could comprehend their own systems were being analyzed. Quantum processors worked in perfect harmony, creating a network that was simultaneously defensive and exploratory. Each interaction with the Zorn technological systems provided new information, new understanding, new potential for adaptation. "We're rewriting the fundamental understanding of technological interaction," Dr. Tanaka explained during a classified briefing. "This isn't about defeating their technology. It's about understanding it at a level they've never conceived possible. The Zorn fleet began to experience increasingly complex system failures. Navigation systems would momentarily lose precision. Communication channels would become inexplicably compromised. Defensive protocols would show microscopic vulnerabilities that disappeared almost as quickly as they appeared. General Chen watched the developing scenario with a sense of calculated calm. "This is more than a technological assault," he observed. "This is a comprehensive demonstration of our adaptive capabilities." Deep within the network, adaptive algorithms began to do something unprecedented. They weren't just understanding the Zorn technological systems, they were learning from them, creating a comprehensive map of alien technological infrastructure that went beyond anything the Zorn had ever imagined possible. Dr. Rodriguez looked at the final diagnostic report with a sense of quiet satisfaction. "Phase 1 complete," she said simply. The Zorn Collective was about to learn that humanity's true technological strength lay not in destruction, but in a profound capacity for understanding, adaptation, and transformation. The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of architectural complexity, a massive spherical room suspended in quantum-stabilized space. Representatives from hundreds of advanced civilizations sat in tiered formations, their various physiological structures accommodated by sophisticated environmental interfaces. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of this ancient gathering, the first human ever invited to address the full council. Her presence alone was an unprecedented moment in galactic diplomatic history. The chamber fell silent as she began to speak. "We are not here to conquer," she said, her voice translated simultaneously into hundreds of linguistic and communication protocols. "We are here to demonstrate a fundamental truth about technological and societal development that challenges everything you understand." The holographic display behind her began to unfold, not as a traditional presentation, but as a living, adaptive demonstration of human potential. Complex scientific breakthroughs danced alongside cultural innovations, technological developments intertwined with social progress. Representatives from the oldest civilizations in the galaxy shifted uncomfortably. The Zorn delegation sat in stunned silence, their previous confident demeanor replaced by a palpable sense of uncertainty. "Our defense was not an act of aggression," Dr. Rodriguez continued. "It was a communication, a demonstration of our fundamental approach to problem-solving, to technological development, to understanding." She began to reveal the comprehensive analysis of the recent encounter. Each technological system intercepted from the Zorn fleet was displayed in intricate detail. But instead of presenting this as a military victory, she framed it as a profound scientific and cultural achievement. The quantum collective representative, a being of pure energy contained within a complex crystalline structure, leaned forward with genuine curiosity. Most civilizations presented technological achievements as conquests. Humanity was presenting them as collaborative discoveries. Dr. Miranda Chen assisted with the presentation, her expertise in communication systems providing additional depth. They were doing more than defending their planet. They were offering a new paradigm of interstellar interaction. "Look beyond the technological capabilities," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "What you're seeing is a fundamental approach to problem-solving that prioritizes understanding over domination." The holographic display began to show how humanity's defensive systems worked. It wasn't just about blocking attacks, it was about comprehending the entire context of potential conflict. Each defensive measure was simultaneously a learning opportunity, each interaction a chance for deeper understanding. The oldest members of the Galactic Council exchanged worried glances. Humanity was presenting something far more dangerous than a military threat. They were presenting an entirely new way of conceptualizing technological and social development. Dr. Akira Tanaka stepped forward, presenting a series of scientific breakthroughs that had emerged from their defensive research. Quantum communication protocols that could revolutionize interstellar communication. Adaptive learning systems that could transform technological understanding across multiple civilizations. "We are not offering these as products," Tanaka explained. "We are offering them as a collaborative opportunity. an invitation to reimagine what technological progress truly means. The Zorn delegation found themselves in an impossible position. Their initial assessment of humanity as a primitive civilization had been completely dismantled. What stood before the Galactic Council was a species that defied every existing categorization. General Michael Chen provided strategic context, explaining how humanity's approach was fundamentally different from traditional military thinking. Each defensive measure was designed not just to protect, but to learn, to understand, to potentially transform. As the presentation concluded, the chamber was filled with a profound silence. The Galactic Council had witnessed something unprecedented. A species that viewed technological development not as a competition, but as a collaborative journey of discovery. Dr. Rodriguez's final statement hung in the air, a challenge and an invitation. We are not here to join your existing systems. We are here to demonstrate that there are always new ways of understanding, of developing, of existing. The Galactic Council would never be the same. The diplomatic landscape began to shift in ways no one could have anticipated. Humanity wasn't seeking conquest or submission. They were offering something far more profound, genuine partnership. Dr. Elena Rodriguez led a series of strategic diplomatic engagements that redefined interstellar collaboration. Each meeting was carefully orchestrated, not as a negotiation, but as an opportunity for mutual understanding. The other galactic civilizations found themselves confronted with a species that approached diplomacy as a complex, adaptive process rather than a rigid set of protocols. The Quantum Collective was the first to respond. Their representative, a being of pure energy and complex mathematical algorithms, proposed a joint research initiative that would have been unthinkable mere weeks earlier. Humanity's demonstration of technological and communication capabilities had transformed the entire galactic diplomatic ecosystem. We are not offering solutions, Dr. Rodriguez explained during a critical diplomatic summit. We are offering a collaborative approach to problem solving that transcends existing technological limitations. The Zorn Collective found themselves in an unprecedented position. Their initial invasion had been completely neutralized, not through destructive force, but through a comprehensive demonstration of technological and communicative superiority. Their leadership struggled to comprehend the new reality. Dr. Miranda Chen led a series of technological exchange proposals that were revolutionary in their approach. Each proposal was designed to address specific challenges faced by various galactic civilizations. It wasn't about providing finished solutions, but about creating collaborative frameworks for innovation. General Michael Chen worked closely with diplomatic teams to develop a new model of interstellar engagement. The proposals went far beyond traditional military or economic partnerships. They were comprehensive frameworks for collaborative development that challenged every existing galactic interaction model. The communication networks began to transform. Humanity introduced adaptive communication protocols that allowed for more nuanced, complex interactions between different civilizations. These weren't simple translation systems. They were comprehensive understanding platforms that could bridge fundamental differences in perception and communication. Dr. Akira Tanaka's team developed quantum communication interfaces that became increasingly attractive to other galactic civilizations. Their systems weren't just technologically advanced. They were fundamentally different in their approach to information exchange and understanding. The diplomatic shift was subtle but profound. Where previous galactic interactions have been based on hierarchical structures of power and submission, humanity introduced a model of collaborative potential. Each civilization was approached as a potential partner with unique capabilities and perspectives. Representatives from older galactic civilizations found themselves both challenged and intrigued. Humanity wasn't offering to solve their problems. They were offering a completely new way of approaching those problems. The economic implications were equally revolutionary. Humanity's technological proposals weren't traditional trade agreements. They were collaborative research initiatives that promised to transform entire technological ecosystems. Each proposal was designed to create mutual benefit, not establish dominance. Strategic analysis teams worked around the clock, developing proposals that addressed fundamental challenges faced by multiple civilizations. Water management technologies developed for Earth's complex ecosystems became attractive to water-scarce planetary civilizations. Adaptive agricultural technologies offered solutions for planets with challenging environmental conditions. The Zorn Collective's communication networks continued to be subtly influenced by the adaptive technologies humanity had developed during their initial encounter. What had begun as a defensive measure had transformed into a comprehensive understanding of alien communication systems. Dr. Rodriguez understood the deeper strategy. This wasn't about immediate technological exchange. It was about demonstrating a fundamentally different approach to interstellar interaction. Each proposal, each communication, was designed to challenge existing paradigms. "We are not here to replace existing systems," she would explain in diplomatic briefings. "We are here to demonstrate that there are always new ways of understanding, of developing, of existing." The galactic diplomatic landscape began to reshape itself. Humanity had entered the interstellar stage not as a conqueror, not as a submission, but as a catalyst for a new kind of collaborative potential. The other civilizations were beginning to understand that humanity represented something entirely new, a species that viewed technological and social development as a collaborative journey of continuous discovery. The real transformation was just beginning. The final session of the Galactic Council convened in a moment of profound transformation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of the quantum-suspended chamber, her presence a testament to humanity's unexpected journey from an overlooked planetary civilization to a pivotal force in galactic interactions. "We are not here to redefine the galaxy," she began, her voice carrying through complex translation matrices. "We are here to demonstrate that potential is not determined by age, but by the capacity for understanding, adaptation, and genuine collaboration." The chamber itself seemed to hold its collective breath. Representatives from civilizations thousands of years older than humanity watched with a mixture of apprehension and unprecedented curiosity. Dr. Miranda Chen presented the final comprehensive proposal, a framework for interstellar collaboration that went beyond any existing diplomatic model. It wasn't a treaty. It wasn't a trade agreement. It was a living, adaptive system of mutual understanding and potential. The Quantum Collective's representative, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, leaned forward with what could only be described as excitement. Humanity had done something no civilization had achieved in galactic recorded history. They had transformed a potential conflict into an opportunity for comprehensive understanding. General Michael Chen provided the strategic context. The defensive systems that had initially neutralized the Zorn invasion were now being reimagined as collaborative research platforms. Each technological breakthrough was an invitation, not a challenge. "Our strength," he explained, "has never been about destruction. It has always been about our capacity to understand, to adapt, to see potential where others see limitation." The Zorn delegation sat in a state of complete recalibration. Their initial assessment of humanity as a primitive civilization had been systematically dismantled. What stood before them was a species that defied every existing categorization, a civilization that viewed technological and social development as a continuous, collaborative journey. Dr. Akira Tanaka unveiled the most revolutionary aspect of their proposal. Humanity was offering not just technological exchange, but a comprehensive framework for adaptive learning. Their quantum communication protocols could potentially bridge fundamental differences between civilizations that had existed in isolation for millennia. The diplomatic proposal was elegant in its complexity. It wasn't about establishing dominance or creating hierarchical structures. It was about creating a living, adaptive network of mutual understanding and potential. Representatives from the oldest galactic civilizations found themselves confronting a fundamental challenge to their existing worldviews. Humanity wasn't offering to solve their problems. They were offering a completely new way of approaching those problems. "We recognize that each civilization has unique capabilities," Dr. Rodriguez continued. "Our proposal is not about replacing existing systems, but about creating a collaborative framework that allows for mutual growth and understanding." The communication systems began to transform in real time. Adaptive translation matrices developed during the initial encounters were now being offered as a comprehensive platform for interstellar communication. These weren't simple translation tools. They were comprehensive understanding interfaces that could bridge fundamental differences in perception and communication. The economic implications were equally profound. Humanity's proposals went beyond traditional resource exchange. They were offering collaborative research initiatives that promised to transform entire technological ecosystems. Each proposal was designed to create mutual benefit, not establish dominance. Dr. Chen's team had developed adaptive technologies that could address challenges faced by multiple civilizations. Water management systems developed for Earth's complex ecosystems became attractive to water-scarce planetary civilizations. Agricultural technologies offered solutions for planets with challenging environmental conditions. The Galactic Council chamber was no longer just a diplomatic space. It had become a nexus of potential, a place where a fundamentally new approach to interstellar interaction was being born. As the final proposals were presented, something extraordinary happened. The rigid structures that had defined galactic interactions for millennia began to soften. Civilizations that had existed in isolated competition began to see the potential for genuine collaboration. Dr. Rodriguez's final statement hung in the air, part challenge, part invitation. We are not here to change the galaxy. We are here to demonstrate that change is always possible. That potential is not defined by age, but by the capacity to understand, to adapt, to grow. The Galactic Council would never be the same. Humanity had entered the interstellar stage, not as a conqueror, not as a submission, but as a catalyst for a new kind of collaborative potential. The real journey was just beginning.